All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to be multiplying polynomials, and we're going to be using a thing called FOIL. It's first, outside, inside, and last. And really what we're going to be dealing is binomials, right? So we're going to take these binomials and we're going to multiply them together using this little, I don't know what to call it, it's a little help thing, right? To help you know which ones to do where, okay? So it's first, outside, inside, last, and I have these color coded on purpose so that you can see kind of what you need to watch for and when to go, but we're going to get into it just so you can see it. So here, I have a binomial here and I have a binomial here, 2x plus 3 and 3x plus 2. And what we do is we take the first of each one of those, that's the first part where it comes in, and we multiply them together, because right in here is our multiplication, right? When you have parenthesis up against parenthesis, that's multiplication. So we're going to take and multiply this times this. That gets us this 6x squared. That's the first of the two binomials. That's what you're talking about here. So we get 6x squared. All right, and then we take the outside, right? So the 2x and the 2. See how they're the outside parts of those binomials? That's what we're looking at. So we're going to take 2x times 2, that's the outside, gets us 4x. And then we go to the inside and we multiply them together, the inside. So 3 times 3 gets us 9x. And it's not hard, but you got to see what you're looking at as they're set up. This is the outside, this is the inside, and then you take the last two, the 3 and the 2 that are the last of the two binomials, right? So that gets you 6. Now, here's where the part comes in. You got to watch your signs, and we're going to add them together, okay? So when we do that, we take this one, we put it at the first, okay? 6x squared plus 13x, because 9x and 4x get us 13x, and then we take the last, and that's at the end, okay? And this is standard form for how you set up polynomials. Okay, so 6x squared plus 13x plus 6. This is a quadratic expression. Get used to seeing this term. You're going to see it going forward in the future. But this is how we set this up. We add the inside and the outside because they are like terms. That's why we're adding them together. If they weren't like terms, we wouldn't do that. But they're like terms when we're done. Okay, most of the time. Okay, set it up. It's not that hard, but pay attention to what you're doing, okay? We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to do a couple of these just so you can see how that works. Binomial times binomial, multiply them together. First thing you do, multiply the first ones. Well, there's a 1 here, there's a 1 here. Sorry, excuse me. There's a 1 times 1 gets you 1x squared, because x times x, you add their exponents, okay? Those are those exponent rules that I warned you about, okay? Then you do the outside. Well, watch this. This is where you got to watch, okay? Here it's addition, so I don't really have to worry anything. But right here, you need to come in here and change it so that you get a good sign on this. You got x times -4, that gets you -4x. Watch that, because at the end we're going to add these two things together. Then you do the inside, 3 times x, that gets you 3x, okay? And then you do the last, and 3 times -4 gets you -12. And here's how this actually looks, right? And I'm going to do the whole steps here so that you can see it. On the ones going forward, I'm going to do this combination here together later, or earlier. X squared plus 3x plus -4x plus -12. Now combine your like terms, okay? That's how we get this inside and outside, or I'm sorry, I lost it. The outside and the inside, let me say that right. The outside and the inside going together, right? Because they end up with the like terms. So we got x squared plus -x plus -12. It can also be written like this. and those two things are the same thing. Okay? Personally, I don't care, I'll take both of those. But some teachers, they want it all the way like this. Multiple choice test, you're gonna see it like that. Okay? That's all it is. Okay? And it's this little setup that'll help you do this. If you do it the same way every time, you're gonna be fine. And this works for binomials. Okay, so first, get you 12x squared. 4 times 3 is 12. X times x is x to the second power. Okay? Outside, 8x. 4 times 2 is 8, but the x still there. Watch this, click, click. Right? Inside, negative 15x. And then the last, right here, get you negative 10. Okay? Now, you combine them. 12x squared minus 7x minus 10. Add these two together. That's why making sure you have the sign there is important. Knowing this, because you know you're adding them. Well, a negative plus a positive, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. Pay attention to that, watch that. Okay? We're putting those two together. So I can kind of skip this little step right here, but if that messes with you, write it down. Make sure you get it all the way there. Here I just kind of skipped that. 8x plus negative 15x gets you negative 7x, and then the last is negative 10 or plus negative 10. Same thing. Okay? Got it set up there. All right. Same thing, and it's when you're multiplying these binomials, if you do it the same way every time, it makes it easier. First, 2y squared. Click, 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 click. Make sure that you have those. Outside, negative 12y. Inside, negative 5y. Last, negative times a negative is positive. 5 times 6 is 30. Now combine them. 2y squared, negative 12y plus negative 5y. Signs are the same, add and keep the sign. So plus negative 17y, could also see minus 17y, same thing, plus 30, no like terms, it's simplified. Okay? Same thing here. First, 15a squared. Watch your signs over here. And the biggest mistake you're going to make here are going to be your signs. Watch your signs. Outside, negative 20a. Inside, 6a. Last, negative 8. If you know your multiplication, it's going to be a lot easier. And then set it up. 15a squared plus, you're going to add these two things together, get you negative 14a. Signs are different, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number, plus negative 8, or you could write it as such. And you got a good answer. As there's not a lot to this once you get that FOIL down, right? First, outside, inside, last. Pay attention to your signs. That's where you're going to make most of your mistakes. And if you do it and you set it up just like I did, you're going to be fine. If you have any questions, let me know.